Mami kwa humane so na menye adwuma yi emra ora Koku Anyidoho meneno endi enkomo anopei wono chief executive at the Atomus Institute na anopei meneno endi enkomo ago Koku to me ka machi.
Good morning, Minia.
Na empombo ko de
Go pardon, I was there.
Eradi adaroma menso me ho ye pa.
Good.
Na endra sadly yenim de esi ye anopei ebabesin so yenim de koso menim se endra me hwe videos mo am ho se former President Rawlings in the fie. I mean, tell us more. There ne ba yentia the SESC.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I'm in chair with here for. And I'm fast the match. Actually, I'm for so I'm at the part. Actually, sir, the BCC any day. We na go pon no first of all, yeah, the saying Yako, but my bushing for Santimine, Omodeshia na what of them no, and Enra Abusia Penny, our Pagina, Otum for Nemo, Ona Otena, a gym, and a year mamrening in 90, my bushia Yako, Yama, Uncolano, Zaneto, Yasantiwa, Amina Kimati. Your mom 31st December Women's Movement. And then the Republic of Ghana, Yemayen and Ayonkusa. So, yes, my brother, yes, Nora, the ABC is here, and graciously, I happen to be around immediately it happened. And Tieka said the Ampa, she's passed. Like the presidency actually also issued a statement because Obushanko presidency no amania.
Okay.
The president of the republic is the president of the republic, is the father of the nation. She's a former first lady, so the state must also take its position. And the official statement about Bonting from the Flagstaff House. And Bushapenis Wakasa into Migidis Abanesana dear. A quanda house a bit to me the young community. Mr. Speaker, Bisaya. These are my preliminary comments, yeah.
Very well. But one will ask, how well did you know Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, especially?
Well, in the last moments, just like I got very close to President Rawlings before he passed, I became close to former First Lady also. In fact, this year, International Women's Day, I did an article. Everybody knows that Koku Anyidoho and my writing there. My friend Diagro. So I did an article published in the graphic online and many other portals. And I dedicated the article to Mrs. Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings on International Women's Day. I thought that, especially 2025, and remembering 30 years of the United Nations gathering in Beijing, China,
okay,
which really gave the women's movement worldwide very solid foundational legs to stand on. Now, Mrs. Rawlings, and in the 31st December women's movement, of course, at time now, your first lady. So when on that day or the day before, I realized, we're going to remember International Women's Day. Look, now that I've gotten very close to Mrs. Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings and we share a lot of information vis-a-vis Ejuma Waye, baby Ghana Edru, baby Awase Ghana, etumi nante ko nyeni nyina no tumi ye but waye na famudie. And sharing, common passions for nation building, women's empowerment. So then Mr. Speaker, then I did the article and the daily graphic, like I said, if you go online, you will find it there. And the things that I talked about, today when I play back, I said, Nanyankuponim. And I remember when I finished the article and I shared it with her,
Okay.
And her excitement. And she was like, Koku, God bless you. I'm very grateful. Yeah, and the way she went about it, Koku, I'm very grateful. I mean, some people have forgotten the role some of us have played. But if you still remember and you can share an article in the Daily Graphic, the National Daily, and on news portals, Koku, God bless you. And when yesterday, we call Fie and I just sat down and I reflected. All I could say, God, thank you for the opportunity to eulogize her in her lifetime and for her to appreciate it. And Sana, what friend say, Ombejina Home. Otherwise, be a yena say na make wakoka we nipa inkra ne betie. But today when I look back, say I was able to share with her my respect for the role that she had played. I was a young boy in Burma camp, so 79. So if we want to go back, 1979. I was an 8-year-old boy growing up in Burma camp when President Rawlings burst onto the scene. So in my growing up years, in the 70s, in the 80s, and in the 90s, who did we know? We knew President Rawlings and as President of the Republic of Ghana. In the your passion, that's where it comes from.
Okay.
And then talking about Mrs. Konadu, look, yesterday I was having a conversation, and I'm saying the ban of free education. We have free education, and more Kwame Nkrumah free education. I remember any time you qualify for state former. Automatically, every sixth former was on a government bursary. Then Nanado said the Nediaba, very different forms. But if you go back to 31st December movement and what Mrs. Rawlings did at the creche level, the daycare center level, where she was able to put these daycare centers in marketplaces. In marketplaces, daycare centers. So that our mothers, our sisters, our whatever, also could jaw banwo.
Okay.
Metumi bi uja. And yes, I went jaw banwo baby keke. You've left your child in the hands of professionals who are taking care of your children for virtually free. If you look at that aspect of foundational education, Master, when we write a story, we may have to give her more than what we have given her or what we have given her before in terms of that. And when you go across the country and the women's empowerment movement, look, I remember, so those days, send your girl child to school, send your girl child to school.
Yes.
That whole crusade of getting more of our sisters. So today when you go to graduation ceremonies at all levels, you see prize in
yeah.
Best student, a female. Best student in this, a female. Best student in that, a female. If you go back 30 years, there was a certain movement that gave more energy for girls to go to school.
Okay.
There was this program by the Fireside, Anna Mamedokono.
El Hosti, yeah.
El Hosti on television.
On Saturdays.
And then Nakupanduma, we have a plethora of media, but it was only GTV. That program alone and its educational foundation, even the folkloric aspect of it, the Koku Nancy thing, and what Koku Nancy meant to us, our generation and other generations, in terms of using folklore for national development, unbelievable. female genital mutilation. In fact, there's a friend of mine in the Gambia today, Fatou Baldi. I work with her on the ECOWAS system. And she's become a big international figure because of the work she's doing fighting FGM in the Gambia. If you look at what Nana Konadu and the 31st December movement did in Ghana to fight FGM decades ago. So I was telling my friend in the Gambia that, look, maybe you should come and meet Nana Konadu and share your experiences. TBAs, traditional birth attendants. In those days, yeah, my men no school. They've not sat in classroom. But a war. Crashing. That's not an light in your near the what do you call it? Hurricane lamp, gas lamp, kerosene lamp, and a war. But where Nana Konadu put these women, the traditional birth attendants, he started training them and more certificates just to elevate their status in society, my brother. And to Okika, of course, the 31st December women itself, the role that it played in terms of providing security for the PNDC administration, that's what that one people don't know. But when you go into the rural areas, the hinterlands, but through 31st December women's movement and the women's empowerment and the kind of things they were telling them, they formed the base of national security. If you the Kotina Pito Bani Bia Banari Unsana Kani and Fata. Ya dwa we are unhu baby ya information is free ya a core system them ho omo. So from all these multifaceted aspects of how she supported nation building, national development, women's empowerment, it is, if you ask me, it is quite sad. Say, well, at least I remembered her.
Okay.
I remembered her this year, but I think there was a women's movement in Beijing.
Yeah.
Not 2-3 weeks ago. I'm sure it would have been just nice if anyway. But well, may her soul rest in peace. Yeah.
Interesting. Insightful thought about Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. Now, a bit of the politics, kakra. Yenim Sena were very, very ambitious. I mean, in 2011, contested with your boss, former President Mills, na Fonka Games, meaning say would you more What do you remember when it comes to those days?
Well, interesting days. I mean, the beauty of diversity. Now with the benefit of hindsight, I can say it was the beauty of diversity. But of course, let me be honest. In the heat of the moment,
yes.
Well, honestly, for me as a spokesperson for President Mills and a close aide, at no point in time did I panic. President Mills himself never panicked. That is why today I can eulogize her, because I never panicked to the point where I had to insult her or call her names or say anything. No. It was a contest. And the wife of the founder decided that she will contest the sitting president. At the presidency, we didn't panic, we didn't have issues, we didn't have a problem. And I call Sunyani, Coronation Parker, you winning handsomely, and that closed that chapter. We never had an issue. We honestly, the president at the time, and actually talking about President Mills and Nakupon Fanny yesterday, when the whole thing was unfolding, the time around everything, because apparently Nana Konadu woke up yesterday, nothing was wrong. Or for that matter, people thought nothing was wrong. Just like President Mills. By 1:30, officially, both of them had passed. So it sent me back to those days. And anyway, but like I'm saying, the Fonka game, Fonka, friends of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. Yes, it was sad. A few of the people around Nana Konadu, and I don't want to believe that she was the one who put them up to it, but quite a few of the young boys and girls around at the time, yeah, the acidity, the acidity level, the toxicity of some of the things that they said, of course, wasn't pleasant. It wasn't pleasant. I mean, the open insult and abuse, and it wasn't interesting. But of course, she as an individual didn't use any invectives. And I think I recall one or two of them after President Mills died, walked up to me and apologized. Koku, we are sorry. We are sorry for what we did to the late president. I said, well, he's gone. If you apologize, that's okay, that's fine. I mean, I will not hold it against you, but I don't believe that. Yes, I don't have a problem with diversity. I mean, I speak my mind freely. I don't insult anybody, but if I'm not happy about something, nothing stops me from stating so. And as for me, I've always believed in that. I mean, I'm a free-minded person, a product of the revolution in 79, what we saw. Yeah, I mean, we don't go sit down, make the teachers every day, kind of people make you stand up, make you fight for your rights. That's what I believe in. I won't insult you, but I will not also allow you to bury me in your agenda if that agenda doesn't suit my spirit, my soul, and my calling. So, yeah, Fonka game, so we came out of it. It was interesting. Of course, it was after the Fonka game that Madame, as we all call her, broke away to form the NDP. But
and then also the NDP. At the time, I think you were the Deputy General Secretary, right?
No. I was still spokesperson for the president.
For the president, okay. But even at the time where she broke away with the NDP, I mean, how was the feeling like?
Those days I was not at the party headquarters. I was like I keep saying, I was at the presidency, and it was, in all honesty, we never 95.1 believed that it will happen. For me, 95.1 the person that really I was always worried about in all that mix was the founder himself, At the presidency, like I keep saying, in as much as President Mills was like, we didn't have to get here, but anyway, we respect her opinion and we respect her decision, because nobody cheated at that Congress in Sunyani. And so if that was the reason why people were breaking away, it was unfortunate. It was an open context. There was no way anybody was going to beat the sitting president. I mean, where was that going to come from? You tell me.
But Nana Konadu, as at the time, wasn't a small weight. Our party, the Musa.
Look, nobody has underestimated and undervalued her importance. That is why subsequently I will get close to her without any inhibition, because we've always respected her. But even at that Congress, we believed that the founder was supporting the incumbent president. Who was going to take out an incumbent president who had done only a year and a half or 2 years plus, and then practically impossible. It's different if the president's tenure constitutionally is coming to an end.
Exactly.
That's a different scenario altogether. That's a different spectacle. When that one president if the president can't competition, but say president can't competition, can say Adakabrada, Nasa Brada
Adabraka.
How is that going to happen? Unless in the South African scenario, what happened to Thabo Mbeki and Jacob Zuma, for those of us who are into global affairs analysis also, but that one, it was the party, the ANC. that woke up and said that Thabo Mbeki, we didn't want you again. Jacob Zuma, we don't want you again. It's a different scenario. But here is the case where the NDC had more than 90% faith and confidence in the incumbent president, President Mills. So I don't see how that was going to happen. But yeah, she pitched, and the results showed, and of course the ABCC here, but it didn't stop the NDC from. You see, coming back to that conversation, my brother, from a broader perspective, Mr. Speaker, that is why I don't believe in breakaways. So.
Okay.
Oh, no, I don't believe in breakaways. Look, the reform broke away. You mentioned them by name. Today, they're not back in the NDC.
Yeah.
I mean, the DFP, led by Dr.
Obeda Samoa, yes,
broke away. The DFP are not back in the NDC.
Yeah, they are.
Good. Even the NDP that we are discussing today, at the last election, the NDP didn't contest. Nana Konadu was alive, but the NDP did not contest. Ipso facto, the NDP didn't exist and had no capacity to contest an election. So I am not somebody who has ever and will ever believe in breakaways, especially when the breakaway is hinged to egos and a feeling of superiority. It doesn't work. Oh. So when we are seeing new ones happening every day and now and then, some of us, we just smile. We just look, well, almost here.
Okay.
But back to the substantive discussion. So the NDP was formed, but it didn't stop the NDC from doing what we had to do. And of course, we won the 2012 election. President Mills had passed, painfully so, but we won that election. And so in that mix, like I was saying earlier, the person I really felt, I don't want to say sorry, the person who really concerned me here was the founder, because now you are in the middle between the party you have founded,
and your wife,
and the party your wife has gone to establish. What does one do? What does one do? I mean, of course, subsequently I got very close to President Rawlings before he passed, and we had interesting conversations around the issues, but then Rawlings remained NDC and remained NDC and remained NDC till he passed. So, yeah.
Now, Andra, Osha post the idea. People are saying, sir, the demise of the former First Lady, clearly, it brings to an end an era. Is that really the case?
Oh, certainly. I mean, a certain generation is passing away. And that is why some of us have been very consistent in saying that let's give honor where honor is due. Look, Mr. Speaker, at the end of the day, this journey called life, look, from the beginning of creation to now, so who has been able to stop life? I keep saying that President Mills, he was the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, a sitting president at that. If it was possible, he would have sent the army to fight death and kill death and conquer death by land. Or he would have sent the Air Force to conquer death in the air. Or he would have sent the Navy to conquer death by sea. I mean, because very early in his presidency, he commissioned about 5 Navy vessels at the Sekedi Naval Base. He started retooling the Air Force. The Army was getting, so nobody can fight death. Nobody can conquer death. We'll all go. But when we have systems, we have institutions, and we have people who have started certain things, Mr. Speaker, let us give honor and where honor is due. So, yes, a certain generation will go, but they will not go with what they started and what they have achieved. And that is what We must all be alive to at all times. Yeah, that's what the flesh it will go. Why not? But the ideas, what they stood for. And that's why for some of us, the Rawlings factor, the Mills factor, we will nothing and nobody, I repeat, nothing and nobody will stop us from keeping those memories alive. Because if we don't do it, then what are we living for? What are we living for? We cannot remember those who gave us the opportunity. President Mills gave me the opportunity to serve the nation in a very high capacity. Well, that's our uncle. God forbid. Rawlings was the founder of the NDC. As it is, Nana Konadu is going to be the longest serving first lady ever, 19 years. Why never
95.1.
So 19 years occur. I don't think that is possible. So, for some of us, yes, and you're funu, and you do funu, and as you need and I'm funu, and I say, no, but one fine day, your time is over. Who will keep your torch burning for you? And that's the question. If you don't do it, nobody will do it for you. The Bible is there. It's in the Bible. Me, at least I believe in the Bible. He who watereth shall be watered. So if you don't water, nobody will water you. It's a simple. It's a simple equation of life. One nyama ubia ubisu nyama magana akari.
Very well. Koku, my now pay. I'm highly grateful.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. It's a pleasure speaking to you once again. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Me tell on catch. Say why you deal with political scene ni mododo, Koku?
Oh, you know, these days I'm operating at a different level after my seminary, and now I'm working, doing some stuff. We are into nation building. No, we are into nation.
Exactly.
We are into nation building, and not just for that one, it won't stop. But sometimes you have to retool, you have to do other things.
Is it who do suffer?
Oh, but you know the God factor in nation building. We're talking about the God and nation building. After my training at the seminary, I'm not an ordained pastor, but we are doing the work of God in this country called Ghana. And Ghana come on the oh no, we will not. But yeah, from different spaces and from different angles to achieve the same goal. And those of you who are my friends, I'm always available. We will have deeper conversations. Yeah.
And anytime we do that, I truly enjoy you. And next week, you ever a quite be more at studio near Dinkomo.
No problem.
I'm highly grateful.
I'm grateful too for the opportunity. God bless.
Amen. And that is Koku Anyidoho speaking to us. I don't pay for the